Got a story for you. A friend of our family, they were living in a pretty nice house, but they were doing really well financially and they wanted to build their dream home. So they did. They spared no expense. They got the 5 acres with the huge garage and the nice master and the beautiful kitchen and the large living room. Then a year later, they wanted to move. What? It was literally the picture perfect home. Why does this happen? Why do we keep building and buying homes that we think will make us happy, but they don't? Let's talk about this idea of what I would call the achievement house. It's not just a home, it's more of a trophy. It's a milestone, a public declaration that you've succeeded. Honestly, the idea took off probably a few decades ago. Homes got bigger, marketing got smarter, and HGTV turned house shopping into entertainment. And somewhere along the way, our home stopped being a place we lived, and it started to become almost like a scoreboard. The square footage, the zip code, the finishes, the curb appeal, all of it became a way to signal to the world and to ourselves that we'd made it. And the thing is, it worked, at least for a while. You walked through that new house and you felt it, the pride, like you finally made it. But then life happens. The mortgage suddenly feels more expensive than you originally thought. The maintenance is never ending, and you look over and your neighbors, they have nicer cars. The feeling suddenly fades. Not because the house itself is bad, but because the house was never supposed to carry the weight of your identity. So here's what's happening. We've trained ourselves to see homes as a proof of success. Like bigger is better, newer is smarter, and nicer means that you're winning. Magazines, TV shows, social media, they all reinforce this same message that you upgrade your space and you upgrade your life. And we believe it because we want to believe it. We think, if I just had that open concept kitchen, I'd cook more. Or if I just had a bigger yard, then my kids would go and play outside more. Or if I just had the master suite with that big old walk-in closet, then I'd feel more put together. Then we get those things. Suddenly we don't cook more. The kids still in front of the TV just the same amount, and we still feel stressed because the problem was never the house. The problem is that we're asking the house to do something that it was never designed to do. And nor were we designed to have it do that thing. We're asking it to validate us, to somehow prove our worth, to fill a void, the void that only grows wider the more we try to fill it with stuff. Ask any really wealthy individual and they will tell you this is a full reality. And for the rest of us, in the meantime, we are drowning with bigger mortgages, higher property taxes, more to clean, more to maintain, more to worry about. We bought the dream home and somehow we're more anxious than ever. There's a term for this in psychology. We call it the hedonic treadmill. Basically the idea that no matter how much you try to upgrade your life, the happiness level eventually returns to the baseline. You get the promotion, you feel great for a few weeks, and then it's back to normal. You buy the new car, you love it for a few months, and then it's just another car. You move to the bigger house, and at first it feels like everything that you've wanted. But within a few months, you've adapted and it's just not special anymore. It's just the place that you now live. It probably feels a little emptier now that it's bigger. And worse is you start noticing all the things that it doesn't have. The things that your friend's house has or that you saw on Pinterest. And of course, this is the classic, social comparison theory. That we don't measure our lives by some objective standard, but we measure it by what everyone else's houses or lives look like. And honestly, the internet has basically turned this into a full-time professional sport. You can't just enjoy your house anymore. You gotta wonder, well, is there something else nicer I could have? Does it, look as good in photos? Or when people come over, would they be impressed if they saw it? And that constant comparison is absolutely killing contentment. Because there will always be something more. A better view, a nicer kitchen, a bigger yard. And as long as you're measuring what your worth is by what you own, then you'll never have enough. You'll keep climbing and upgrading and chasing the next house, the next thing, the next proof that you matter. But you're never going to get there because the finish line keeps moving. It's actually a really good book on this concept called The Gap versus the Gain. I recommend you go check it out. It's really good. But let me take you back to the generations before us. Right, so your grandparents' generation, they bought house for a very different reason. They wanted security, they wanted stability, and they wanted a place to raise a family where they could pour money into an asset instead of into a rental. The house didn't have to be impressive, it just had to do its job. So maybe it just had 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, and just a little yard. That was enough because the point wasn't to prove anything. The point was to have the foundation set. It was a place to build a life. But somewhere along the way, this all shifted. Homes got bigger, way bigger. The average home size in 1950 was about 1,000, and today it's literally over 2,300 square feet, and family size has actually gotten smaller, so there's literally fewer people living in those spaces. I actually did a video about that. You can go check it out. But we're not happier. We're not more connected. If anything, we're more isolated. Because the house stopped being about us and started being about status. It became part of the image that we project, the carefully curated version of our lives that we show to the world. And now we're trapped. We've built these massive, expensive homes that demand so much from us, time, money, and energy, and they give us so little of what we actually need, which is connection. It's simplicity. It's peace. We've upgraded our houses, but we've downgraded our joy. So as a believer, this is a biblical concept as well. There is a verse that comes to mind, which is Ecclesiastes 4:6. It says, "Better one handful with tranquility than 2 handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind." 1 handful with tranquility, not 2, not 10, not everything you can possibly carry, just enough with peace. And I think that's probably wisdom that is lost on many of us. We keep reaching for more, bigger homes, nicer things, the next upgrade, the next milestone, and we're exhausting ourselves in the process. We're toiling, we're chasing after something that just keeps slipping through our fingers. And scripture is saying, not just in this verse, but in many verses, stop. What if instead of constantly striving, constantly upgrading, constantly trying to prove to people that you've made it, now you just rested in not only what you have, but the very thing that we were designed for, which was to rest in Him. Because our worth is not in what we own. It's not in our houses. It's not in our stuff. We were designed to find our worth in the one who created us. And when you really believe that, and when you live from that place, everything changes. You stop needing your home to validate you. You stop comparing, you stop chasing, and you start asking different questions. Not, is this an impressive house? But does this serve my family and God? Not, will people think that I made it? But can I actually afford this and still be generous? Not, is this the dream, but will this give me the space to do the things that I've already been called to do? Because the best home isn't one that proves you succeeded. It's the one that allows you to live well, to love deeply, and to be present with the people that matter most. That's the handful with tranquility. And it's so much better than 2 or 3 handfuls of stress, debt, and comparison. So here's what I want you to hear. If you're in a house that's draining you financially, emotionally, mentally, you're not stuck. You do have options. You can downsize. You can move. You can redefine what success looks like. And if you're thinking about buying a house, ask yourself, am I buying this because it actually serves my life or because it looks like success? Am I buying this to impress people or to create a home where my family can thrive? Because success cannot be about things or what we build. It must be about how we use those things to help us love, to rest to be generous, to be present. Maybe the best home isn't the biggest one. Maybe it's the one that serves your purpose.